you to home in the seat, to get in your pockets, roll the weed, exposing the weed, you hold the sleep, the fish bitches, y'all should know the meaning. Yeah, everything that I say I am, nigga, I am. I know the rest of you motherfuckers wishing to be that real. I tell you what, my nigga, be real with your motherfucking self. I am baseball, nigga. I am the best, nigga. I am the best, back to back, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Circumstances are like my first fight. I lost to a swinging, my arms bugging, adrenaline pumping. Oh shit, this little nigga's thugging. I mean, I was 13, I was nursing a knot on my face, but there was another time and a place that I would.
Hey guys, Tropics here, welcome back to another video, and today I will be showing you guys how to fix the fail to connect the stream issue that a lot of people actually are seeming to be having on OBS, recently. It never used to happen a lot.
I had a request by one of our viewers to show how I configure OBS Studio for videos, screencasting. And so I'm going to go through that. I'll go through the basic setup of OBS Studio. Now, for my needs, I don't require Windows, various things that some other YouTubers may need screencasting. Basically, I'm using just a simple version of screencasting, but I like OBS Studio. For this video, OBS Studio, how it's being running. Now, I'm using these because for some reason these is working properly when it's from scratch install. I'm going to do a little bit of research on that, but it looks to be a G of these computers. But I'm going to see if I can get that resolved. But as I said, normally I use OBS Studio, and I'm going to walk through the steps to set up a basic configuration. So let's take a look at OBS. Okay, so if you need to agree to the license agreement, and then it's going to open up a window that you see here. Now, basically OBS uses what's called scenes. And so it comes basically with the default scene with no sources set up. I'm going to go through that with you. When you create a scene, think of it as, for example, if I want to do YouTube, I'm going to rename this scene. I'm going to call this basic YouTube configuration. So you give your scene a name. You can have multiple scenes for various windows and open applications, things like that. I'm just going to go through the basics right now. So each scene is made up of sources. You might have a scene that only has one window. usually you'll have a default that you can select from. So if you just leave it on create new, because you haven't created any scene yet, so you're going to create new, and as you can see, it's populating now with my screen, and I'm going to leave it on the 1920 by 1080, and I'm going to tell it to capture the cursor. Now, I don't use any of the advanced settings. You can explore that as you set up your own, but I'm going to just click OK. So now I've got my screen capture. As you can see, my screen. The next thing I want to do is capture the camera. So if I want to put myself in a small window, I need to tell it how to do that. And so I'm going to add another source for that. And we're going to call that, we're going to designate that as the video capture device. Now, as I said, you're going to be creating new because you haven't added anything. You don't have any existing screen capture or video capture devices. So we're going to just click on OK. Now, it's listing my HD Pro webcam. It's not showing it because I'm using it for cheese. But I'm going to leave that alone. The only thing is I'm going to leave everything the same except on resolution. I'm going to do 320 by 240, and for frame rate, I'm going to select 30, and I'm going to click OK. Okay, now, and as I said, if I wasn't using cheese, the camera source would show up right here. Okay, and then you can move it wherever you want on the screen. Now, the next thing we need is audio. We need to capture audio. So we need to capture what you're saying when you do your YouTube screen capture. So we're gonna pick that from the audio input capture. Then we're gonna, because it is a new audio capture, click OK. Now you need to select your microphone. In my case, it's going to be the Yeti stereo microphone. So then, once you select your audio input device, you're going to click OK. Now as you can see, my audio input is capturing my speaking. And that is all there is to it. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video, and then I'm going to reboot into OBS Studio so I can show you what it looks like when you're actually using it rather than being in Cheats. So I will be right back with you guys. Be right back. Bear with me here. Okay guys, I'm back now. I'm in OBS Studio, and as you can see, I've got my YouTube scene set with my screen, video, and audio capture. I went into my settings and set up my Control-R start recording hotkey and my Control-S stop recording hotkey. And you can see the camera here is in the top left, and that can be moved around the screen. And so, of course, when you're doing your screencasting, you'll have this minimized. So that is it for the basic OBS walkthrough, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that was clear. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. In the meantime, if you need a more detailed...
Create something beautiful, whatever your style is. With Wix, you have the freedom to create your unique website. Express your personality. Showcase your proudest moments, then create just the right composition. You'll get all the professional tools you need to make your vision come to life. Let your work speak for itself. And look amazing on every screen. When it comes to your website, the possibilities are endless. Wix.com. Create your stunning website today.
Hey guys and girls, it's Johan here again with another video, and this time we're going to be taking a look at Open Broadcaster, or OBS as it's known. And this is going to be a basic tutorial on how to set up OBS for screen capturing, so recording your gaming footage or recording your screen if you're like doing something like some kind of tutorial, computer related tutorial or whatever, and also the basics of streaming as well. And so the first thing we want to do is take a look at the settings, and you can do that by clicking on the settings button here on the lower right. As you can see here, this is the first tab, the general tab, and here you can just adjust the language or theme. You can have like a darker look on your OBS client. I'm just going to go with the default for now. And then we're going to go to the next tab, which is the stream tab. Here you can select, like if you're going to stream gaming footage to Twitch or YouTube or whatever, you can kind of select the service from here. And you can also select a custom streaming server, like if you have your own service or if you're using some kind of other service that's not listed here in the default presets, as it were. So yeah, basically what you end up doing when you start to stream is you generally go to the website like YouTube, and you set up a live stream, and you'll actually get a stream key that you paste in here, and then that kind of sets it up for you. But I'll get more into that later. I'll actually show you an example of like a stream on YouTube. So yeah, I'll get into that later. The next tab is the Output tab, and here you can select or here you can adjust the quality of your output. So for example, if you're streaming, you'd be adjusting this one here, the video bitrate, the encoder, and X264 is pretty good encoder, and the audio bitrate, and that's about CD quality audio, which is pretty good. And then down here we have the recording output settings. So here's the recording path. Here's where the actual files will end up going when you record. And then recording quality. If you're streaming, if you're both streaming and recording at the same time, you want to have the recording quality the same as the stream, because if you put it, for example, on high quality, as it says here in the warning, recording with a software encoder at a different quality than the stream will require extra CPU usage if you stream and record at the same time. So that'll just put a lot of more strain on your CPU. But if you're just recording, then obviously go with different settings here, like the high quality settings, for example. It's pretty good. It gives you kind of a medium file size, and the quality is still really good. But if you for some reason need like really super high quality or lossless quality, but then you can select that, but you'll have like huge files, like several gigabytes for just a couple minutes. Alright, and then we have the recording format. The default one is FLV, which is like flash video, but basically you can also change to MP4, MOV, MKV, and so on. And MP4 or MOV is probably what you want to go with if you're just like recording to import into like a video editor and then edit that footage later. And yeah, then the next tab is the audio tab. And here you can change your audio settings. So if you have like a secondary input or something, you can add it here. And the default one, you generally want to keep it as the default. And then here's the microphone. If you have multiple microphones, you can add them. And then you can also adjust your default one, because I have to do this because I have a USB microphone. This is the one I'm recording my audio with at the moment. So I want to use that one because it's my best mic. This other one is the microphone on my headset, which is not so good. So I don't want to use that one. And then we have the push to mute or push to talk settings. And basically with push to mute, if you have that enabled, then you're constant for this for the microphone setting. Then you're constantly broadcasting your mic, and you have to press a button to mute it. And then when you let go of the button, it'll start broadcasting again. And push to talk is the opposite, and that's basically your audio from your mic will not broadcast by default, but when you press and hold a button, then it'll start to broadcast, and once you let go, it'll be muted again. So I tend to use that like when I'm gaming and stuff, because the OBS does not have voice activation or anything like that. And then we have the desktop audio, and that's basically the same thing here, but I generally would not use those settings. And yeah, then we have the next tab is the video tab, and here you can adjust the resolution. Right now it's at 1080p. I want to go maybe for 720. And this is basic, and the above one here is basically the resolutions for both of my displays. So I have two monitors. One is running at 1080p, and the second one is running at kind of a weird resolution because it's like an older 17-inch monitor. It's not a widescreen monitor, so it has kind of that weird resolution. So here you can like adjust the resolution of your actual output on the stream. And and then we have the downscale filter, which basically, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but basically it's supposed to increase the quality of your of your stream. So the bilinear one, that's the lowest quality one, and it doesn't really make like a huge difference between these. But if you have like a slow CPU, then you want to use bilinear because it's the one that works the fastest, but it's also the lowest quality one. And if you expand or you scale up the stuff on your screen to like fit into, for example, the 1080p resolution, then that might cause some blurring if you're using bilinear. Then bicubic is kind of the middle option, and Lanczos is the one with the highest quality, but also the most CPU usage. And then we have the FPS. Usually you want to use 30 or 60. And then we have a thing where you can toggle, where you can disable Aero, and that's kind of the fancy looking desktop environment on Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 10. And disabling that will probably mean that you're using less CPU. So if you don't have the best CPU processor in the world, then you may want to use that to like improve, to like reduce the CPU load, and that'll then like that won't make it as laggy as it would be to record if you have it enabled, if that makes any sense. And then we have the hotkeys, and you want to set up a couple of hotkeys. I would recommend setting up start streaming and stop streaming. Use the same button, so like when you press this once, then it starts to record. When you press it again, then it stops recording. And you want to basically use that. You want to have that one set up. Well, that's the streaming one. This is the recording one. And you want to basically have this one set up as well. And I'll just set it up here quickly. There we go. And yeah, yeah, I'd recommend having also these scene ones set up if you're streaming. If you're just recording like gaming footage that you're going to edit later, then you won't need to set up these for the scenes. But if you're streaming, it may be useful to be able to quickly switch the scenes. And then we have the desktop audio, so that you can mute the audio. It's useful to have. And of course the mic mute is also useful. And then we have the push to talk. That could also be useful to have it set up. I tend to use I have a mouse that has kind of buttons on the left side of it, so I'm going to use one of those for that. Alright, so then we have the advanced tab, and to be honest, I haven't really used this one at all, so I'm not really sure what a lot of this stuff does, so I'm just not gonna speculate too much on that. Alright, and that's basically it for the settings. I'm just gonna click OK. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start to set up the scene, the first scene. And if you're just recording like gaming footage that you're gonna edit later, or desktop footage that you're gonna edit later, then this is gonna be pretty simple. You can just right click here and select go to add and select game capture. And I'm playing a game called Cities Skylines. I have it running on windowed mode. So I'm just gonna type that in there. Click on OK. And if you're running a game that'll like appear in full screen, and you don't have like a second monitor or anything like that, where you're having like a windowed version of it running, then you want to keep this, you want to have capture any full screen application, and then you want to use your hotkey to start recording and stop recording. But right now I'm just going to untick that, and I'm going to select the correct window, which would be the Cities Skylines window, or executable name. And as you can see here, this is the footage. And I just don't want to change anything else here. You can disable the cursor if you need to, but I'm going to do that. And I'll just click OK. And as you can see here, the resolution on the game is a bit smaller than 1080p. So what I want to do to kind of fix that is I want to have it expand into the entire screen here. And the easiest way to do that is by right-clicking on the source here, then go to Transform, and then select Fit to Screen. There we go. So now it kind of expands into the screen, and it fits perfectly because it has the same